We are foreign.
We are scoring.
And we are sportsing.
Welcome to the Four Score Sports Podcast. Again, I'm Christian.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Spencer.
And it's glad to be back on
Yo.
this holiday special. We're recording a couple episodes today, and this is one of a few that we'll be doing. Unfortunately, Michael and Braeden could not join us for this one, but that's all right. We'll keep chugging along. First off, we'll be swinging out with the hottest news in sports in the past couple months. Shohei Ohtani signing with the Dodgers for $700 million over the next 10 years. Then we'll be moving on to free agency right afterwards. And we'll be talking about the rule change effects of the game from last season. Then we'll be going on to the NBA, talking about the MVP race and Draymond Green's shenanigans and tomfoolery. All right.
Okay. We have to let the Dodger fans get their little hoorah in. Because it's the only time they'll get it this season. Ohtani signing with the Dodgers on a 10-year, $700 million year. By far the largest contract in sports history. Got a few little quirks into it.
It's gnarly. When you look at it on paper, it's absolutely insane. Because not only is he deferring $68 million per year until 2034, he also put a clause in his contract that if there are any major personnel changes within the organization,
that's when he can opt out.
He can opt
You know
out.
who everybody thinks it was written for? His translator.
Well, the translator is
that
one
would make
of them.
sense.
The contract states two stipulations. One is that he has a personal private box luxury suite in Dodger Stadium for all home games.
I mean, that was a given, though.
Included with its interpreter, so that's the interpreter part of the clause. So if the interpreter gets fired, yes, he can opt out at the end of that season. And same thing for general manager Andrew Friedman. If he gets fired or he leaves, he can opt out at the end of that season. And I believe there's one or two other people included. I'm trying to find that right now.
My money would be on like Betts or Freeman.
No, like staff, not players.
Well, Roberts.
I don't think it's Roberts.
I don't think it's Roberts either.
If Roberts has a bad
I
season,
hope it's not Roberts. Oh my God.
Could you imagine if
Can you imagine that? That's essentially signing Dave Roberts to 10 years.
I would cry. I would actually.
That would suck.
I would actually cry.
On like a guaranteed contract.
Yeah, even so, like looking at the numbers, it's honestly insane that we have to even think about $700 million, and the sheer how much money that's generating for not only the city of Los Angeles but for this franchise. With all the sponsorships that are coming in, all the Japanese viewers, because the Japanese love baseball. Anything about the World Baseball Classic, that last pitch, Ohtani versus Trout, 99.5% of TVs in Japan were watching that at bat.
Wow.
Which is about 150 million people.
That's big.
So absolutely massive market they just tapped into for the city of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
As well as big cities like that have a, historically large Asian community, and I do believe LA touts its, Asian roots in certain areas. So I think it's definitely going to be a really interesting thing for the city. But as well as the deferring the contract, I think we just renewed Bobby Bonilla's bullshit once again.
It never ends. It's crazy. The contract, honestly, it's a built-in no trade clause, because who's gonna take Ohtani at like year 9 of this 10-year contract when he's like in his mid-40s and he's still owed $680 million? Like nobody's gonna pay $680 million for a 1-year rental after he has like 5 Tommy John surgeries. So it's like it's just a built-in guarantee that he stays on the team. That opt-out clause is a little scary because it, like I said, Andrew Friedman, president of baseball operations, or controlling owner Mark Walter. If any of those two lose a role with the team, he can opt out at the end of the season.
Okay, wait. I got a quick question real quick. So, like, for opting out, like, I'm not used to this in the NHL. Mm-hmm. When opting out, right, is that contract
void?
Dead? It's void?
Gone.
So now, like, he has to sign another figure with someone else.
He would essentially go, I don't like where the team is going, fuck you, I'm out, and could sign anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
For any price range.
I thought that number carries with him.
No,
No,
that's just for on paper now. The second something like that changes, that piece of paper is effectively torn.
Okay.
So it's huge for the baseball world because it just shows the glory of no salary cap. It's absolutely insane.
The Dodgers are gonna be rolling in that luxury tax though.
Yeah, but honestly, we both have said it, both in private and here. It doesn't matter. You know they're gonna make that money back.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of have been telling you guys since before Ohtani even really started blowing up in free agency, is that like I know people that work in the Dodgers organization and they all are like, yeah, the amount of money that Ohtani will bring in just sponsorships and marketing will far exceed the value of his contract in 20 years when they have to pay it off. Because it's essentially a 20-year
payoff. It's the 10 years he's there and then the 10 years after.
Yeah. Deferred
and
money.
they'll have it paid off. Like there's no doubt about it. The bank of Dodger Blue is deep.
It's deep. I mean,
very.
It's one of the most historic franchises in LA, and LA is a very rich city, so it's like people are gonna go to that game, and you know the question really is like, you know, they have 3 of the best players in baseball right now: Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Ohtani. It's kind of like everyone's like, okay, well now is like tickets and food and merchandise going to go up in price too. Merchandise won't, food will, parking will, tickets will, but like
it's going to be a bit of an L for a hot minute, but honestly, to watch a generational talent, I'd be willing to foot the bill even for one game. Because I saw him pitch in Anaheim. We saw him pitch in Anaheim. And bro was dealing. Like absolutely dealing.
How much were those tickets?
$30 for field level.
What?
Yeah, we paid like $35.
I'm telling you,
God, dude, Anaheim is poverty,
dude.
It was
6 scoreless innings.
I think 2 hits. I think ended up.
Barely. Like barely. Nothing was going well for the
Nationals. I think it was. Yeah.
Yes, it was Washington.
Yeah, because it was you, me, and Jaden. Yeah.
Yeah. So $30 for field level. I'll beat
that's crazy.
The food was barely cheaper than Dodger Stadium. But the fact that I got to see him, yes, in Anaheim, and it was quite the trek to Anaheim. But for $30,
it was a
$30.
I had a day, and I got to see him
and the
like
parking,
actually deal.
The parking was like, to park at the stadium cost me $15,
and it wasn't bad.
15.
And getting out was a little rocky, but I just think that just
happens anywhere.
Okay,
at any stadium.
For our listeners, like, give them like the average parking price. Why I'm like so stoked about
parking.
$15 parking.
Okay. So for the city of Los Angeles and its fuckery in the parking department, a Kings game typically will run a soul anywhere between $15 to $30.
15 to 30.
I'll say 30 to 40, depending if you're
on
trying to
where
like park in like a parking lot, like a parking structure.
Yeah, $30.
30 to
easy.
$40.
So Dodger games around Dodger Stadium is about 30, which will probably escalate to 50 depending on this contract.
Yeah.
The most egregious
don't
is
even talk about
SoFi
Stadium.
I went to Lions Chargers. I paid $140 for 2 tickets. Not bad seats. Went with my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Parking was $125.
Unbelievable.
For the Chargers. Not even the home LA team. I can only imagine what it is. I can only imagine what it is for the Rams, or God forbid when they hike it up for the Super Bowl. It was $500 for a parking spot during the Super Bowl weekend.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
$500.
That happens even too at SoFi and I guess I'll just say SoFi whenever they have concerts. Those tickets, the parking's like $80-$90.
The weekend was $80, and I did not even want to risk it for Travis Scott. I said I'm parking a mile down the road and paid $15.
Yeah,
the fact that I even have to say, do I want to sacrifice money and time? Like it load of BS.
Honestly, parking away from the in a lot away from the stadium, is much better anyways because it's
from
faster to get out.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started on the Forum. Oh, good lord.
I mean, yeah.
So that parking lot I always bring you to for Kings games. Like that's probably like the cheapest option.
So there's one by SoFi that's kind of like that.
Meter parking for Kings games.
Oh my god! I can't
do you remember?
Imagine.
I don't know if you've ever.
I've never parked meter. No.
Yeah, so we used
meters.
to do parking meters, and it'd cost like $5 to park the entire game.
Wow.
That's
probably
but it's like good luck finding a spot.
I mean parking meters.
True. Yeah, and like
no,
you're also risking your car being out on the street of Los Angeles too.
That's kind of what you get when you park in those random lots too. That those people are just kind of standing.
Same, but it's better than nothing, in my opinion.
I mean, we parked on the street. We'd get there like 2 hours before the game, and we'd go eat. Like LA Live or something. But besides the point, kind of getting back to Ohtani and the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest fear for Dodger fans is like, I remember when I was a kid, I remember going to the Dodger games. Yeah, they weren't as good. But I'd go to a Dodger game and we'd sit in the outfield. We'd have all you can eat food for $40 a ticket. Parking was $15, and we would have a good family fun time for like $100.
Yeah, like good luck getting into the stadium for that price now.
Yeah, now it's like, I think opening day at Dodger Stadium's $300 a ticket
for nosebleed.
For as like the literal skyscraper seats. Like, come on.
I'm literally 7 stories up. Yeah. I can't even see Ohtani.
I can't even see the ball. Like, you can't even see the ball.
You can't.
How much is to see LeBron and the Lakers?
Depends. It depends on who they're playing. Honestly,
tiered pricing.
Kind of. If it's them and the Warriors, because you get Curry and LeBron, you're creeping up into like $60 or more for nosebleeds.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you'll get like, depending on this time.
I thought it was gonna be more just because.
But that's kind of like.
I mean, that's what happened the first season when he was there.
Yes, but there's also 82 games a season, and 41 are played at home. So and he's been there for 6 years now. Yeah,
but like, okay, so that's when you think that when Ohtani's, when you're 6 or 7 of that contract, and you also got to think Ohtani's not going to pitch until next year.
Yeah.
He just got Tommy John surgery, and it was a pretty brutal Tommy John surgery, so he's going to have to, wait to pitch. He's going to bat halfway through next season, so realistically, it's not going to be Ohtani right away, but once you get further in that contract, it's 162 games. That's a lot of games.
At least 81 of them are played at home.
81 are played at home, and so, the longer he's on that team, that's what happened with the Angels. Longer he played on the Angels, and the worse the Angels were as a team, obviously, the cheaper those tickets were, because those tickets I would attempt to try to find a few years ago, those would be like $100.
Yeah, no, it's absurd. It's absurd what people will do to watch athletes, but honestly, I don't blame them at the same time. Because again, it boils down.
So worth it.
It boils down to the generational talent. Like you'll never see this again in sports, and if you do, it's going to be a solid 50 years before you see anything like this.
Yeah,
hands down. Yeah, pretty much once.
Because in no world did I think an immigrant would come out of nowhere to absolutely deal at the highest stage of baseball and then some. Nobody. When I want to say it was like 2017, 2018, where there were whispers of him going to the Dodgers, and then he signed with the Angels, and people were like, "Oh, this kid's really good," and I was like, I don't know who he is. I don't watch Japanese baseball like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't a thought that rang in my head. And now you look back, it's 2023, and all people are talking about are these Japanese pitchers and these Japanese batters, and this dude's hit, he's batting like 335, and he's like a 5-year vet in Korea, or he's pitching 106 and for the Nippon Battle Stars, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, you've never heard of these teams. So it's opening up baseball to a world we've never seen before.
Right.
And I think it's great. I think what Ohtani and I think we're gonna round about to Yamamoto at some point. What these guys are doing for the sport.
Even Lee Jung-ho, who just signed with the Giants.
For
6 years, 100,
yeah.
113.
What that's going to do for Korean baseball is just nuts. So
it's like you get these guys. I mean, it's blowing up in other countries. It's always been like the Dominican, Cuba, Puerto Rico has a lot of, baseball players, and they've always kind of had that. But to see it kind of go all the way into Japan, Korea, China, like you're seeing some of these countries that I would not associate baseball with Japan. So a few decades ago.
Neither would I, but they've always been like this because like the World Baseball Classic has always been, Japan versus Korea is nightmare fuel for those fans. Yeah. It's like actual war.
And, I mean, like even like I think the World Baseball Classic being bigger than ever also makes it really good for just normal casual fans to be able to see like, hey, like America's not the number one baseball country. I mean, because you for a while you'd just be like, oh, it's just America and nobody else. But now you're like Japan just beat them.
These guys are coming from across the world.
Yeah, and they're they're good.
Like, we do joke about, the Dominican, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Mexico even. You joke about that. And then they get clumped into a group together and they've got to duke it out there. And then you've got America and Canada. Canada doesn't have the worst players. They've got Freddie Freeman. They've got a couple other guys.
I forgot he was born in Canada.
I forget so too.
Yeah.
I also, a little off topic, found out RG3, Robert Griffin III, was born in Japan.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Wow.
He's
I didn't know.
so when you find out where athletes are really born, or like it's amazing. Going back on topic, it's amazing what this signing really means for the future of sports and potentially like the future of the world, like of where people are gonna move, what they're gonna do, what dreams are made of.
Following these other players to where they're playing.
This is the American dream: doing what you love and getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, hey,
I'm excited for it.
It's exciting, and I think the Dodgers having like a big 3 trio. Their biggest worry is going to be pitching for the immediate future. But Ohtani fits in really well with that team. I'm excited to see how they kind of rework that offense. Given that their outfield is not doing too hot, so just kind of seeing how they build the rest of the team around it, because you've seen in other sports, namely basketball, you build a big 3 and that's not necessarily the key for success. You need a team that's actually gonna be able to play together. So I'm really hopeful for the Dodgers for that. Really sucks to for the rest of the league that is just like, damn, like there's nothing we can do about it. Like not many other teams were even willing to shell out half of that for Ohtani. And, it was really the Dodgers and nobody else in contention for Ohtani, because there's just nobody does it like him, and nobody has the money that, like, LA or New York has.
Yeah, the fact that Toronto is even considered.
I was kind of hoping he was going to Toronto, because Toronto would have been nasty with Ohtani. That team would have been crazy.
While I don't disagree, it's Toronto.
I mean, like, I'm someone who likes to root for the underdogs in these situations. Like, I always want the smaller markets to win. That's something I've always said to you guys.
I wouldn't
always
say
like
Toronto's a small.
No, it's not. But it's not a market that a lot of players go to.
It's not an attractive market.
It's not
small
market,
either.
Yes.
But let me also just say that, like, him staying in the state of California also probably makes geographical sense for him.
Oh yeah.
You think about it, like
he just goes down to 5.
He fully has a house.
No. I'm talking about, like, going back to Japan.
Oh yeah,
staying on the West Coast, he just has to fly across the Pacific.
Yeah. Which, I'll be damned, is a long-ass flight to begin with, but
it's
better than New York.
From New York, Toronto, Miami.
Yeah. But, I mean, he also has a house here. He's kind of settled here. It makes more sense for him to be here. Yeah. He's going to learn the hard way what California income tax is like.
I think that's why he deferred it.
It's probably why he deferred it, because I think he's
gonna some offshore bank account, bro. He's gonna go back to Japan and it's just gonna get all shelled out there.
Yeah, I mean,
they're gonna have to foot the entire $700 million.
Yeah, I mean, they did that for the sake of, like, interest free, and I think in the contract the Dodgers can donate up to 1% of the contract to charity, which is pretty cool. I mean, I don't think it's very frequent you see that. But or
at least hear about it.
Yeah, hear about it. But like I said, I would have really liked to see him go to a small market. I really do like when small market teams get big players.
Yeah.
It's because it just sucks it sucks for the markets, and it sucks for those teams to just see, like, our team's not ever going to go anywhere because nobody wants to play here. Nobody even gives us a time of day in contract negotiations. They trade these washed up superstars to us because we have the money to do it. But, like, what do we do?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a topic we can tackle upon another day, is the small market and what happens, but I think...
I mean, we can talk about that with free agency, too.
Oh, yeah, we could definitely wrap that up right there. So, tackling free agency, what's the moves other than Yamamoto? Because that's the only one I'm really
Glass now, if we're on the topic of the Dodgers.
Glass now, you're right.
Yeah, Glass now and Manuel Margot gets traded to the Dodgers. Glass now signs a long-time deal. Margot helps their outfield, so I mean that's a good pickup.
Glass now, I'm a little
Santa Clarita native.
He is
Tyler
indeed.
Wait, who? Oh,
Glass
really?
now, yeah.
He went to Hart High School, didn't he?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, the more you know.
Can't wait to bring Giancarlo Stanton back to LA.
We could scream that just as much as we scream Thousand Oaks native Trevor Moore.
Oh, please no.
Santa Clarita Valley native Tyler Glasnow. Every
the
out.
most cringe.
Every out.
Oh my gosh.
Every time he's
Every strike.
Every strike in the group chat, I'm lighting that shit up.
I mean, bro is he's pretty good when he's healthy.
But that's the thing, is like, what is his health gonna look like?
He's not been healthy throughout his career, so pull through for him, but
yeah.
That's why they got him for so cheap, is because he's not really
the
healthiest player.
I also want to mention that LA does have this weird thing for bringing pitchers back from the dead stat-wise.
Yeah, but there's also pitchers that flail and die off in LA.
That's also true. That is very true. So it's definitely a glass cannon.
Okay, moving on to the rest of free agency. We got Yamamoto. That market's heating up. I think the Phillies submitted an offer. I couldn't tell you who else has submitted an offer. A lot of teams are talking. A lot of teams are in.
What about Chicago? Weren't the Cubs in on Ohtani, so now they're trying to get Yamamoto as well?
I can look that up.
I don't know. I would.
The Giants are now out as of 1 hour ago.
Oh, hell.
Wait, now out or not out?
Now
they are out. They're not long. They're no longer. So apparently, one bid hit $300 million.
Damn.
Okay.
The Dodgers, Yankees, and Mets seem to be the favorites.
What's new?
God, I'd hate it if you went to the Mets.
Phillies sent a formal offer, but they don't know if that's the one that's over $300 million. What I've been seeing from the Phillies is that they weren't gonna offer him a lot of money, and if they did, it was gonna be short term. So I don't think $300 million on a short term deal was possible. So it's really gonna come down to whoever that big offer is and where he really wants to go. He said he wanted to go to somewhere that already has Asian market, so the Dodgers could very much be in the running for that. But other than that, it's been kind of quiet. I mean, there's a lot of hype around him. He has amazing mechanics. Bro throws heat. I don't know what else you want me to say. He's a really good baseball player.
Great pitcher all around.
Yeah. But for the rest of free agency, there are so many players that are free agents right now. Too many to even list out right now. But there's a few teams that, when we're on the topic of small markets, there's a few teams that are actually kind of working right now. And one of those teams is the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City Royals have really impressed me with their off season and their free agents. They picked up shortstop Garrett Hampson on a 1-year deal. They picked up right fielder Hunter Renfroe for a 1-year deal. They picked up starting pitcher Michael Wacha on a 1-year deal. Starting pitcher Seth Lugo on a 2-year deal. Chris Stratton, reliever. I think he's a reliever. Yeah, reliever for another 1-year deal. Will Smith, reliever, for a 1-year deal. And Tyler
the guy
Duffy,
out of Atlanta?
Yeah. He throws some heat. And then reliever Tyler Duffy, who's also potential to be a starter, also signed a minor league deal with the team. So that's one team that I think is making really big strides. Small market team getting some pretty notable players.
Yeah, I didn't. When you kept listing off the contracts, I was like, oh shit, it just kept going.
It just kept going. So I think that's a step in the right direction. But there's so many free agents left that anyone's game. We got Josh Hader and Hector Neris, two of the best relievers in baseball.
Hader still.
Yeah, those
Isn't
two.
Snell still on the market?
Snell is on the market. He's not a free agent. It's a trade. So really,
hasn't he been pushing to go to Seattle though, or is that?
I don't know where he's trying to go. It's really up to the team on where they send him.
That's true.
But we got a few, Blake Snell actually might be a free agent.
I think he is. I think he's been in Seattle though. I think that's why everybody thinks he's going to sign with the Mariners. He was spotted at Seahawks games and whatnot lately, and I think he's from Seattle.
Then, yeah, that would make the most sense if that's where he ends up, and that'd be great for Seattle.
When do contracts because I know Ohtani signed, but when are free agents actually allowed to?
They're allowed to sign right now.
Oh.
The winter meetings have already happened. So free agency it takes a long time for baseball players to sign.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good players and there's a lot of teams that have a lot of needs. Especially with teams with a game where you only have one of each position on the field.
Yeah.
Right? Like in hockey, you have multiple centers, multiple right wings, multiple left wings, and they all sub in and out. Basketball, kind of the same as baseball.
Yeah,
but you do have bench players that can sub in.
You can also run like a two big man, one big man. Like you can switch it around enough.
But with baseball, it's like you have your guy, and that's who you're sticking with throughout the entire season. So it's way more intense for these players. But a few other pitchers: Jordan Montgomery, Clayton Kershaw, Brandon Woodruff, Marcus Stroman, Zach Greinke, Lucas Giolito, all free agents, all really good, talented pitchers.
Yep.
Relievers, I don't really talk about because they're so unpredictable. But in terms of that, outfield, we got Cody Bellinger, Kevin Kiermaier, Michael A. Taylor, Adam Duvall's a free agent, Jock Peterson, Tommy Pham, Joey Gallo's a free agent.
Gallo.
We also have Justin Turner, Matt Chapman, Gio Urshela. Shortstops, you have Ahmed Rosario, Brandon Crawford, Tim Anderson. Second baseman, Elvis Andrews, Whit Merrifield. First baseman, we got Rhys Hoskins, Carlos Santana.
Oh,
Brandon
Hoskins
Belt.
is a...
Yeah.
Oh.
Because the Phillies went with Harper as their first baseman for the future now.
You're right.
And then catchers, Gary Sanchez, Mitch Garver, Kurt Casale, like some pretty solid players at every position still left, so it'll be interesting to see. We still got plenty of time, I think 3 or 4 months until spring starts to warm up for spring training. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and I saw that baseball's like trying to offer new ways to get spring training engagement up. And one of the things that they're considering doing is every team will play 2 or 3 games of prospects versus prospects.
I've heard about this.
I like
this idea.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Teams just play their prospects against each other head on head.
Because certain farm programs go crazy, so I think it would be a really good thing.
Certain farms are really good, so it'd be interesting to see where the future is and see how they all work together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's the free agent recap. I mean,
that was
a lot of waiting.
Yeah, a lot of waiting. But
yeah,
a lot
I gotta
of great
play
people.
patient with this.
100%. Okay.
Next up, we are going to discuss the rule change effects that have debuted this past MLB season. Talking specifically about the pitch clock and the increased size of the bases.
Yeah.
Yes. They happened in the same season. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, they did, and nobody really thought about that. Nobody really considered how both of those made a big impact in the game. Huge impact.
Affected the MVP race.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which one first?
I say let's talk about the base size because I feel like it's something I'm not that knowledgeable about, but I can still add 2 cents as. Whereas like the pitch clock, I can just ramble.
Yeah, so we heard that before we hit record.
Professional fucking yapper over
Bro's
here.
Bro's D1 yapper, bro.
Bro's a yapaholic.
Get me a scholarship.
Oh my god.
Let's talk about the bases.
Yeah,
so what were the numbers they increased by?
So the corner bases got improved by 3 inches on each side because the corner bases only are effective on the inside of the diamond. Mm-hmm. So the corner base is 3 inches wider.
Right.
And then the second base is, I think, 1.5 on all directions. So the distance reduced on the first and second baseline, or from first to second and second to third, is 4.5 inches. And then the distance from home to first and third to home is 3 inches.
Right.
In total. So some pretty decent size going right there.
Yep.
So let me just say this. I think, and this is no disrespect to this player, Ronald Acuna Jr.'s base stealing stats is now bloated. because of said rule change.
Oh,
Fraud watch. Put Acuna on fraud watch.
Okay, I just said don't disrespect him.
Bro,
like he's not
up the
fraud.
first 40-70, 40-60, 40-50, and 40-40 season.
Fraud watch.
That's also true.
No, yes. Well, I do. Obviously, we know he's a great player, and he should have been in MVP contention to begin with. But, however, you do have to take into consideration how inflated that stat is now because of the base size. Because when you consider 3.5, 4 inches, depending on the base, that's a good chunk of your foot that you're beating out pitches by.
Yeah.
You know, that's massive. Especially when these guys are, I'm assuming I can translate their speed a little compared to like football players. They're hitting like 20, 22, 23 miles an hour, just booking it. And that extra like little couple of inches goes a long way for just getting to the base. So while yes, I do think he should have been in MVP contention to begin with, I think using the steals is like a main like caveat to getting MVP is kind of like
It's like it's strong enough to stand on its own, but like that's not what.
Yeah,
I mean, like that's not like what the sport's all about.
I wouldn't use it as a crutch to why he won MVP.
There it is. You just put it into words. What was his hitting like? Do you have that?
Oh, he was crushing it.
He was hitting well, wasn't he?
High-key deserved it. Bro's batting .337, 41 home runs, 106 RBIs, 73 stolen bases on only 14 caught. He had 80 walks to 84 strikeouts, which is a pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Really good number.
That is pretty good.
So,
I mean, I'm not saying
Bro had the hitting stats too. He wasn't just stealing bases.
I'm not saying that he didn't deserve it. In my mind, I think it'd be a lot closer if the bases were their original size. Because obviously he wouldn't get that 73 steals. So then you have to take into consideration. I know Nick, you're gonna hate me for this. You take in consideration Mookie put up similar numbers. They're not the same. Obviously, Mookie got beat out in a couple. But that race is much closer in my mind. At least that's all I ever heard was that between those two for NL MVP.
Yeah. I mean, those were the two main guys for NL MVP. I do think that I think Mookie Betts didn't have very comparable hitting stats across the board.
No, there were some games where his down slumps really.
I mean, taking a look at how Acuna had an OPS over 1,000 and a batting average over 330 was really impressive.
Yeah, 100%.
To boot with more RBIs, more home runs, less strikeouts, less walks still, but I mean Acuna just. Bro,
he killed it. He killed it. There's no doubt about it. I'm just saying that I think the steals are a little inflated and shouldn't be. Yeah. Because that's every time the MVP argument got brought up, and any time I went to a comic section of any sports post, it was always about the steals, and it's like brother, come on.
So a few things about the bases stolen, because I did a little research about the stolen bases. If you want to think about it. That 70 doesn't even scratch the surface on the most ever stolen bases in a single season.
How much?
Ricky Henderson has 113.
Oh, you're so right, and he did that without.
He did that without the larger bases. So if you really want to put it into comparison, Ricky Henderson's not hitting 41 bombs, but like that just kind of goes to show how
true.
Much.
I think
Acuna
wasn't Henderson just known for stealing?
Yeah, Henderson is regarded as one of the fastest players in all of baseball.
Yeah.
So but just to put it into perspective, like that's 40
true.
That's 40 stolen bases away from the all-time record. And so I don't think that this is big enough to change that record anytime soon, because we don't really have a player that is capable of doing it. But I do also want to say in the topic of stolen bases, I always have to toot my Phillies horn when I can. Trey Turner is the only baseball player that had 30 or more stolen bases successfully stolen and 0 caught stealing. Bro was never
That's pretty good.
Caught
He's
stolen.
fast.
He's fast.
Mad fast.
Bro is mad fast, and the fact that he wasn't given the opportunity to go more on these big bases kind of sad, but
yeah.
We'll see next year.
We'll see next year.
We'll see next year.
That's a very impressive stat. I think it's the first time in MLB history that no one got caught. He didn't get caught stealing.
Right.
Yeah. Little news flash I just got. Yamamoto is expected to sign within 48 hours.
Oh, so that's gonna be an interesting thing to see.
So
Crap,
they're saying
this up soon.
it's between both New York teams and then us. They're the Dodgers.
Yeah, I would like to think that the Phillies are still in it, but that's just me being
That's just Delulu.
I mean, you never know, because especially when a team formally submits an offer, they're fully in that contention, and you never know.
That's true.
And you're just going off of reporting, as we'll talk about.
There have also been some like BS trades and signings we've seen in recent years going, how the hell did you land that player?
Yeah.
Namely, the Christian McCaffrey trade in recent years. Did not expect to wake up to that.
Yeah, so it's like you never really know what you're going to expect. But like whoever submitted that $300 million
they're in
deal, that's probably where he's gonna go, and they don't know who submitted that offer. So,
could you I'm just saying hypothetically, if that is LA, that's $1 billion between two players. $1 billion for two players is wild.
So, known reporter, and respected reporter in the MLB world, Mark Feinsand, he reported that the decision is expected within 48 hours, and the teams in the mix are the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Phillies, Toronto, and Boston.
Interesting.
So those are the teams.
That's a lot of decisions.
That's
you
a lot
do
of
that
teams
in 48 hours?
Well, he
doesn't have to.
Yeah.
But
that's
like I'm saying, like
we're being told.
Yeah.
It's probably because he wants to do it. That's the thing.
He probably has his,
when people are expected to do stuff, it means that their intentions are there, and that's probably a thing he's set in stone. So
yeah. And then John Heyman, who's also another MLB reporter, said that Dodgers and Mets seem to have the best chance, but Phillies is a potential dark horse that could come in and.
God, I'd hate if you went to the Mets. I would hate that.
I'd hate it too.
I hate the Mets. I'm sorry.
I don't like them either.
I don't get it, but I'll join the band.
They're annoying, and just like they
join the wagon.
They fall apart, and it's just like their fans are just
New
Yorkers.
It's New York. The secondary New York team.
The secondary.
Moving into the pitch clock, which is the big rule change that everyone's talking about. The rule change was so convoluted and so complex for no reason. Literally no reason. So the rule was 30-second timer between batters, between like new batters, and then 15-second will be in place when the bases are empty, and 20 seconds when a runner is on base. So really, really dumb in theory, but
I mean in practice it kind of worked for the league because
it worked. It achieved the goal that they wanted.
Yeah,
to achieve.
and they test this stuff in the minors for years before sending it up to the MLB. So they felt that they had proven it enough in the minor leagues to say, hey, let's try this with the big guys. And spring training and those first couple of games were nightmare fuel, especially for known pitcher Max Scherzer, who threw a temper tantrum every chance he could about those rules. And I don't blame him at first, because as a hardcore fan, when you look at it, it's cutting away from time in the game, and it seems to aid the batter more than anything. And then when pitchers tried to adapt to it, there were more rules added.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you take into consideration that, like, the pitcher, like, especially from a pitcher standpoint, you got to think of the mechanics. If you're howling pitches 100 miles an hour every 15 seconds, that's just not good for your arm.
No, I would just think that would just make you more injury prone.
Yeah,
if anything.
There was a lot of pitcher injuries this year. There was a lot of pitcher injuries this year.
There were?
Yeah.
I would expect as much.
Most pitchers, the entire Dodgers rotation was out for a period of time.
True.
Kershaw was out. May got re-injured. Urias was out. Gonsolin was out. And then, it's just like how these guys are getting hurt because you're forcing them to pitch. And I have the pitch clock violations pulled up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Almost, like, every single team had double or more pitcher violations than batter violations. So across the board, pitchers were violating the pitch clock more than batters. And yes, they weren't as common as people might have had thought that they were, but the Mets had 55 pitch clock violations the entire season.
Well,
which is
That's out of
by
100.
far the most. Yes.
It's not as much. It's like out of 162 games, at least 9 innings.
And if you want to put that into perspective, 1 out of every 875 pitches was a pitch clock violation.
Yeah, that's I mean, so that's not bad.
And then the Mariners were actually really disciplined. They had 1 out of every 3,187 pitches.
That's how many?
That is 15 all season.
Oh, okay. Not bad.
Yeah. So that one really is hard, and Spencer kind of went on a rant about this earlier, and I would like him to chime in on
So I'll add my 2 cents. So
would you like me to share the difference between time?
Yes.
Yes.
You were.
Let us guess first. I'm going to say it's an hour or less.
I want to say it's a 45-minute difference.
Well, guess how long an average game is.
An hour. A game now is like at least 2 hours, 40 minutes.
I'm gonna say the original games were 3 hours and 15 minutes, and the new games are 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Okay, so I'll just lead up into it, kind of like a little drum roll. If you want to look from 2001 to 2011, the average game was under 3 hours.
Okay.
Just under 250.
Okay.
Right? 2012 all the way to 2022, I don't really know why this happened. I think longer breaks between the innings might have been something that they incorporated, but they were all over 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Either from anywhere from 3 hours to 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This last season was the shortest ever. 2 hours and 42 minutes per game, down from 3 hours and 6 minutes.
That's a huge jump.
That's like 20 minutes.
So yeah, that's pretty big. So like taking that into consideration, as somebody who is not super close to the esteemed Dodger Stadium, getting ready for a Dodger game was nightmare fuel, because you gotta, get in your jersey, get in your gear, gotta go pick up your friends if you're going with friends, or by yourself if you are so inclined. No shame there. You gotta make the hour and a half trek down into LA. Then you've got to try and find parking. Then you've got to pay out your butt for parking. Then getting into the stadium. Okay, so game starts at 7. You're there by 6, in the stadium by 6:15, 6:30. So then you've got to wait. Game starts. You go through your full 3-hour game. It's now 10:15. Okay, get to your car. You're leaving by 10:30. Okay, right. I'm not getting home till 11:30, maybe midnight if I'm lucky. If I've got work the next day, or if I've got school, I've got stuff to do, it's miserable. Absolutely miserable going to games and coming home. Mm-hmm. And that's just because we're on a big market team.
Yeah.
With the new pitch clock, I'm at games, my usual, we'll get there before 7, game starts at 7. I'll be out by 9:30. Which means I'm home by 10:30, 11 at the latest. That hour is kind of a big deal, both for traffic reasons as well as just enjoyment of life. I don't hate myself getting up in the morning after a Dodger game unless, I don't have anything to do previously. But if I have, work or something, it was tough having to watch the 3-hour games with the Sunday scaries. Knowing I've got shit to do in the morning. Yeah. It's always tough. So now is a commuter for these games. The shorter time span of the games is great. But you also have to think about, okay, I'm getting less game for what I'm paying. As well as if you're native, you lose that enjoyment of I get a 3-hour pastime. Which really kind of sucks, but you win some, you lose some. Especially for, the smaller teams where you can walk into the stadium and just, you've got nothing to do except watch a game. So it was a much better experience for those native to the area and not having to deal with the commute.
But people 20 miles away, say you and I.
You're stuck in traffic.
You're stuck in traffic. Other things such as hell, even getting into the damn parking. Oh my god, it's the worst. I can't imagine any other stadium.
I can only imagine, because I've been to Angel Stadium, I've been to Petco Park, I've been to Dodger Stadium, and by far one of my favorite experiences outside of Dodger Stadium has to be Petco Park, because as much as I may not like the Padres, San Diego is so nice. relatively walkable. There's a bunch of fun stuff to do around the stadium.
Right.
It's very manageable, both getting in and out of the stadium. There's no hassle. You just cruise through a game, and then you can go bar hopping. You can go like back to your hotel or where you're staying. You can go to the beach. Like, it's very manageable to just waltz around San Diego. So, just trying to think about where Dodger Stadium lies and what you have to deal with trying to get to the stadium is just, it's not fun.
Yeah.
So, and another thing I also mentioned was I have less time to do stuff around the stadium now. So now I've got to, like...
True.
The fact I have to go into a game with a spreadsheet of things I need to do is beyond me. Okay, I've got to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom before the game starts. I have to get all of my food before the game starts and pray to God my fat ass doesn't eat it all. Okay, so then I've got to sit through several innings. If I need to get up again, I miss an inning. We went the Angels game. I went to go get food and I missed an entire
those lines get so long.
Inning, an entire 6+ batters because your boy needed to find a pizza.
That is so lame.
Yeah, it is really annoying, especially when you are trying to enjoy a game, being someone that's not your local park, you know?
Yeah. And let me just say this right off the hop here. I just thought about this. What if baseball, like after maybe the 4th or 5th inning, a longer break?
Well, they do the 7th inning stretch, which is technically a longer break. But I do think that could work. You know, doing like one after the 3rd and one after the 7th.
Like, give more people like more of an opportunity to, go to the bathroom, even though those lines are long as hell anyway. And then go get more food, go to the merch store for a little bit. Like, give them like an extra 20. Give them that 20 minutes back.
Oh, it's something I really enjoy about watching football in person, and I swear to you, I explained this to my younger brother as soon as I started going in person. The game doesn't feel like 3 hours when you're there, especially for football.
No, I think that's also the same for hockey too.
Everybody's like, oh, there's such long breaks in between plays, and there's such, there's TV timeouts, and there's actual timeouts, there's injury timeouts. There's only about 11 minutes of actual action on a football field. And I'm like, because it's a coach's game. You're calling plays, you're doing this, you're strategizing as the game goes on, rather than an active, it's instead of reactionary, it's a strategy game. And I think that's why I love football so much. But sitting there with someone you care about, and just watching the game as it go, it didn't feel like 3 hours. And then within each quarter, having it as a quarter system, you get, 5, 10, halftime's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Super Bowl's 30. You get up, you go to the bathroom, you come back, you might be able to get food. You have time to do stuff. Hockey, you get those 20-minute intervals. And it's
those intermissions are nice.
My first game, I hated it because I'm like,
because you're just sitting there.
Because I'm itching to get back. But now
if you're
that
not leaving your seat and going to get food or going to the bathroom, you're just sitting there for 20 minutes and there's nothing really to do. You just watch the Zambonis go around.
Okay, but the Zambonis are fire.
They're fire.
But I mean, like, now that I'm like an experienced hockey watcher for the most part, I know what to do during those intermissions. I know how to spend my time wisely.
Especially where we sit. Where we sit is perfect. You got the bathroom outside, 320, and like for the context of our listeners, like we sit next to bathrooms and we sit next to a small shop.
As well as we sit with diehard fans where we can chop it up the whole time.
Yeah.
It's some of the most fun I've had in a sporting event. So it's just, I think the breaks aren't bad. I feel that casual sports fans are missing the fact that a break is a good thing.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I think a break is a good thing.
It gives the players time to rest, so it's less injury. It gives us time to relax. It gives us time to get up and do stuff. And
the hardest part, really, to be completely honest, with like giving the players the time to have a break, is every half inning is a break for the players. Because when your team's up to bat, only one guy's batting. The rest of the guys are just kind of sitting around talking to each other.
Yeah.
And that's why you see
they're not doing
pranks.
much.
You see a lot of them just goofing off in the dugout because they don't have much to do.
No other sport does that.
It gives the pitchers time to breathe while the team's batting because now they don't even have to bat. They can just sit there, rest their arm, watch film, see what's going on, talk to the coaches. They don't even like now. It's hard to give a break for the players because they already have so much time for a break.
Right.
And then kind of going back to like the time outside of the actual game, like driving to the stadium, parking, and then leaving the stadium, trying to deal with all that traffic. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I found to be really helpful in a lot of bigger market teams have been adapting this more is they have public transit that goes directly to the stadium.
Shuttling, yeah.
Yeah, so the LA Metro actually from Union Station in downtown
it's
LA.
Right there.
It is a free shuttle that takes you right from Union Station, which is a station you can get to by almost any corner of LA.
Yep.
Union Station, so for like $5 you can take it, go straight to the outfield gate.
Yep.
And you don't even have to deal with, paying for parking, the traffic to get into the stadium, even the traffic to get out of the stadium. You don't have to deal with any of that. You just sit on the bus and then you go home.
Mm-hmm.
You're home, or you're back to your car at whatever station you parked at, or if you Ubered or walked, you're right there, hassle-free.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, like
Kansas City doesn't have that. I went to a Kansas City Royals game. I had an Uber to the stadium because it's so far. Kauffman Stadium and Arrowhead right next to each other. They're so far away from the city that like if you don't have a car, you're a visiting fan. They don't have really a public transit that takes you out there.
Nope.
Their public transit, I'll tell you, is one free cable car that goes straight downtown. That's all they got. They probably have buses and whatnot, but like it's really the extent of it.
Yeah, so it's like getting back to it. It's just as a diehard sports fan, I like taking my time. I like having moments where I can lower my heart rate or like take a minute to just analyze. I really like sitting down and going, okay, how is my team performing? What's going on?
And talk with other people how it's going.
I know it sounds like really nerdy to do, but like
I do it all the time.
It's such a therapeutic thing almost.
Yeah.
And I hate when people are trying to push like getting away from that. Like I just saw something today, and I think I sent it to you guys, that NBC Universal and like these big conglomerates and whatever are teaming up with the NFL that this next upcoming Bills game is going to have the first commercial-less fourth quarter.
Oh. Really?
Yeah. I think if you go through the group chat, I sent it a couple hours ago, but the thought of it, I was like, I really like the idea of that, but at the same time, like, what does that entail?
It probably entails more commentary throughout the breaks, timeouts. There's no single commercials because they'll take like a 30-minute timeout to stop the clock and they'll put an ad.
Yeah, like a Honda ad.
Now they'll just talk straight through it. They'll give you more in-depth analysis. They can really talk about the plays. They can replay something, show you guys whatever.
Yeah.
But you're not taking away from the field because I feel like sometimes when there's reviews in the fourth quarter, I want to see what the players are doing. I want to see how people are reacting. I want to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see these. Obviously, it's part of the broadcast. It's fine. Like at the end of the day, it's whatever. It's how they make their money. But like, I want to see what these players are doing, especially during a high intensity, like in the Eagles Seahawks game. That last interception, that wasn't an interception. We'll talk about that later. That I want to see how the players are reacting. I want to see how the coaches are reacting. I want to see what's going on in the stadium. Like. Yep. Show me that atmosphere in the fourth quarter at the end of the game that really matters. Don't put me on a commercial break where I'm watching,
that same State Farm commercial. That same
State Farm ad in a different language.
It's broke. Yamamoto, Dodgers, $300 million.
Wait.
Yeah, Dodgers. This is live.
Like right now. Like just happened.
Wait, really?
Yeah, like I'm serious. Like I just got it. Wow, that's a. What?
Wow.
This is more than 300 This is now. This is it.
That is breaking news, people. That is hot off the printing press.
Breaking news here from Fourscore Sports Podcast. Us reporting to you, our loyal listeners. Yamamoto has signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers for $300 million. How long?
That doesn't say. Well, somebody's saying it's still speculation, but
how much? How
do we have it? Ken Rosenthal tweeted, sources confirm Dodgers close on on Yamamoto. First, Jack Curry at Yes, who reported the contract will be for more than $300 million. I wouldn't be surprised if that's just them announcing that is the...
Yeah, is that just them announcing the figure?
That's probably just them announcing the figure of the offer, and it says that they're close. It doesn't say it's confirmed.
But it's a...
I'm just saying, like, it probably is, but that's just...
Okay, well, in the meantime, while this is being edited, we can figure that out.
Yeah, because Jeff Passan hasn't dropped anything either. It's just kind of...
I'll let Braeden know, like, this is something... Yeah, we're gonna have to actually... Oh my god, that's crazy.
We're gonna be recording a second episode today, so we will probably
We'll definitely be getting updates in
real time.
In real time. This is now happening.
God, if only we were live streaming this. Oh my god.
That'd be crazy.
We've been asked about that. I've been asked about it.
We will be doing it.
And then it's literally John Boy that's just like...
Is reputable?
No, John Boy... I would say John Boy's a reputable source for reporting signings. And this goes into what we're talking about in our next episode. I'm not going to really say, but this goes into what we're talking about in the next episode. People are trying to be first, not accurate. So if this is just ends up being like everyone's overreacting...
I will die if he's not actual Dodger.
I'm sure he'll sign with the Dodgers if that's who gave him the $300 million figure.
But how many years is that gonna be
Talking
for?
Baseball and John Boy are the only ones that have said it's confirmed, and
I trust John Boy though. That's the thing.
I don't, because they don't get from sources from teams or players. They just scalp whatever they find from actual reporters and post it all over the internet.
Yeah. We'll have that on the back end of our next episode that we'll be recording in a couple hours here.
I mean, Uncovered posted it. I trust the hell out of it.
8 minutes ago, one of these guys I follow on these Phillies fans that talking on Twitter he was like 18 minutes ago. He's like, Yamamoto's gonna be a Philly by Christmas Eve. Can't believe this is my life. I was like,
you poor soul.
At Bryce in its veins.
Wow.
Anyways,
had to stand up for that one.
Yeah, that one was a big deal.
That is crazy. So as of now, let's see, what is this? 58 minutes and 11 seconds in on our recording here. Yamamoto going to the Los Angeles Dodgers on a speculative $300 million deal, not showing...
Excess of $300 million. It's over.
Yeah. What? You're making a face.
I also just got a post about the new 2024 rule changes for the MLB.
Oh my god. This is happening right now.
So
let's go.
It was within the day. So it says,
I see 8 hours ago.
It was 20 seconds. The pitch clock will be reduced from 20 seconds to 18. Mound visits will be reduced from 5 to 4 per game. The runner's lane...
They never really use that anymore.
The runner's lane will be widened to include the dirt between the foul line and infield grass.
Wait, say that one more time?
Say that one more time.
The runner's lane will be widened
to
include the dirt between the foul line and infield grass. As well as a pitcher who is sent out to warm up for an inning must face at least one batter.
Say the last one more time.
A pitcher who is sent out to warm up for an inning must face at least one batter.
That's a big one. That's a big rule change. Because if a pitcher in the bullpen, because in most games, a team will see that their starter's running out and they'll put up 2 players to start warming up because they have 2 mound spots in the dugout or in the bullpen. If a player is told to stand up and warm up, they have to at least face one batter.
So that means you can only warm up one at a time now.
Realistically, one at a time, or you got to know for sure. Because sometimes a player will stand up and warm up and they won't even go in, or sometimes they'll stand up and warm up and then they won't ever. They'll just tell him to sit back down because they don't want him anymore.
Right.
So this hasn't the Yamamoto has not yet fully been confirmed, but everyone's saying it's reported. So MLB Network seems to think that it's true. So I'll take MLB Network on this. I'll trust them on that. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So that is huge.
What a day for news. What a day.
That's crazy.
MLB posted it. It's official.
Yeah, if MLB posts it.
Insider, MLB New Year Network insider John Heyman.
Oh yeah, if he's posting.
Yeah, Heyman did tweet that 6 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
So an update official update from us here at Fourscore Sports Podcast. I know this will come out a little later than expected. What's his first name? I'm sorry.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto has signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers for $300 million. Don't know the length of the contract just yet.
My bet would be anything over
5.
6-7 years.
Over 5 years. At least that's our guess. But he has signed in Los Angeles. And now we have a rotation of Glasnow, Buehler.
If he's healthy. Kershaw's not signed yet.
Oh, right.
That's right.
He only
assuming Kershaw comes back.
I assume he would. With the firepower we just got, I think he'd want to do like one last ride into the sunset.
Yeah.
So hypothetically, Kershaw, it's not obviously official, but Yamamoto, Ohtani when he comes back, Glasnow, Buehler, May,
yeah. I forgot about him.
We just got rid of Pepio, didn't we?
Yeah, we got rid of Pepio. What about Gonsolin?
Gonsolin
didn't do too well this past year.
No, he didn't, because he's been unhealthy.
Yeah, unhealthy. Yeah,
so if he's healthy, I think I say we give him
Gonsolin's good for like mid threes, low 4 ERA.
That's fine though. Sometimes that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
So wow, what a wild. If I don't
that was a lucky time for us to record, huh?
Yeah, you're telling me, dude. Holy shit. Pardon my French, but wow.
I will be inclined to believe that the Dodgers are going to have to pay over $40 million in luxury tax per season that this goes on.
That's it?
$40 million.
Oh, wait, well, you know what? Because that is Ohtani stuff is deferred. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
With this, it could exceed 50-60 million per season.
Yeah. And that's nothing to them.
Not really, but there's a stipulation in MLB's contract rules is that they can only pull their money from certain areas. They can't. It's not their entire money they have. They can only pull money from like merchandise and marketing and sales like that.
There could be deferrals in this too. And like again, deferral money is limitless.
And
that's what I was gonna say earlier with Ohtani. I wouldn't be surprised if the MLB looks at this and says, "Okay, we need to change those rules." Because right now it does say limitless. There's nothing the MLB can do about it.
Does explicitly say limitless deferrals.
I would not be surprised if that's something they look into changing.
Yeah,
because it's not entirely fair for the rest of the league, but also at the same time,
the rest of the league can do it.
So but you need to sign before you can set up the deferral.
Oh,
so I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Yeah, regardless, anybody can do it.
Yeah, anyone can do it.
Wow. Did we have anything else before that?
I mean, we were gonna talk about the MVP race and Draymond Green.
We got NBA next.
Did we want to squeeze that into today's episode?
Honestly, might as well. It won't be too long.
What are we at right now?
We're only an hour in.
We're at an hour.
We could.
Let's throw it in there.
Okay, so officially next, NBA talk. The MVP race.
It's a
one-man stand.
It's a one-man stand right now. This looked a lot different when I wanted to do the MVP race probably like 3 weeks ago. But there's a lot of talk about a lot of people are saying that Embiid shouldn't be the front runner for MVP.
Who do they think it should be?
A lot of people are like either Jokic, Giannis, or Shea. I do think Shea has a really good shot at it.
My vote's for Shea.
Okay. When you say you don't want Jokic to be MVP,
listen.
Is that you being a hater?
He is being a hater.
Okay, yeah. Partially, as well as I don't think this season he's deserved it.
Definitely.
Compared to his last couple of MVP seasons, he has regressed a little bit. As well as I do hate that blubbering walrus. I despise him and how he plays basketball. But that's besides the point. I think Shea should get it. I think. He's had it. He came out of nowhere. Not really like nowhere, but I mean like this season.
Last season he was really good, but he was like 30 plus. He was like 30 points a game.
Yeah. So this season I think
he also turned on the Jets on defense. I think he's leading the league in steals too.
Yeah, he's good, and he's got my vote in my opinion. But at the same time, Embiid has just been.
Yeah, you can't discount him.
Has been just destroying teams. It's unfair.
Yeah. It's unfair, and the fact that everyone was like, "Oh no, Harden really destroyed the team."
It honestly did.
This team is actually
where is Harden now? I honestly, I meant like stat wise.
Oh, he's been playing pretty well recently. But this season he's 17 points per game, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Nothing to write home about.
Nothing to scoff at.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing in comparison to his previous seasons. Like last season he was 21 points a game, over 10 assists, over 6 rebounds. Like he's across the board down in stats.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a fun one. But I just think Embiid, there's no way that Embiid, unless he like literally falls off a cliff or dies or something, there's no way that anyone takes him out for the MVP.
I think Shea's just gonna give him the run for his money.
He's gonna give him the run for his money, but until Shea, like, I'm not gonna say gets the recognition, but I feel like the only thing he has going for him is his points per game and his he's only got his points per game and
Let him finish his
his
thought
steals.
first.
Yeah.
Like I just think that without steal, I mean, like I feel like without like assists and rebounds,
Yeah.
you can't really be declared an MVP.
12-year, 325.
Jeez.
What is that over? Okay, well, what is that per
The
year?
AAV.
Yeah, what's AAV? You said 325?
325. Over
That's 27 million.
I apologize for getting distracted. I am a little special, as well as this is
Yeah,
huge news.
this is huge news for what we do here.
Yeah.
So, 12 years. 12 years.
12 years. But that means we have 2 superstars for over a decade. Wallahi, my wallet is cooked.
Yeah, 2 superstars. Gosh. I always will be saying I think Ohtani's going to, in 2-3 years' time, he's going to be just the batter. He will not be pitching after 2 to 3 years. Yamamoto, he's just an outstanding player. How he translates to the MLB will really be what we need to see.
Yep.
As with all players that come into the MLB from other countries and other leagues. I'm really excited to see what he's got for the Dodgers. Excited to see him pitch.
Yep.
In person.
Mm-hmm.
I just, like I said, how his arm action converts to the MLB, also something that is something that needs to be looked at.
Uh-huh.
Because bro has no momentum from the rest of his body. It's all arm action.
Yep.
Which, spread that over 162 game season, pitching at least every 5 days, 4 to 5 days, and also taking into consideration you're pitching 100 pitches a game. You really need to be careful with that arm.
Oh yeah.
Make sure that he's being properly taken care of.
Especially if we just discussed that, like you said that the pitch clock is now going down to 18 seconds.
Yeah.
From 20.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. They're trying to make it. I don't know. I really don't know what they're trying to do. To be completely honest, it's kind of chaos. But yeah, going back to basketball, just so we can kind of wrap this up.
Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much else to add about the MVP race. I think it's an interesting thing to watch and something everyone always watches. So it'd be fun to watch.
So just to wrap up, like this last 15 minutes of chaos while we were just talking. I'm sorry, can you say his name one more time?
Yoshinobu Yamamoto
has signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers for 12 years, $325 million. That is around $27 million per year.
That's not too bad.
That's not too bad, especially if there's like a deferral like somewhere in there. And then we'll get even more precise contract details. We'll talk in the next episode in a few hours. So yeah, that's the exciting MLB news.
Bryce Harper's getting paid less annually. Just would like to put that out here.
It's because he's mid. Sorry,
bro. 2-time MVP.
Mid.
2-time NL MVP.
Where's the ring?
bro needs the ring, bro. I can't.
Braden's gonna have a stroke editing that.
Yeah. Anyways, to finish your little recap.
Okay. That's just what I wanted to say. Now. Okay. Our favorite segment. FRAUDWATCH.
Love
Draymond Green has been suspended indefinitely for striking Nurkic in the face.
Roundhouse punching him.
No,
Through the roof.
guys, you're missing the headline. Breaking news: Draymond Green has been suspended indefinitely for committing a felony. Because that's what it is. He's gotten away.
He just put him to bed. He just made him sleep.
Like,
gave him some melatonin.
I genuinely don't understand why the man can get away with assault so many times in a season or so many times in a career.
Bro gets suspended like 5 or 6 times a season,
which is absurd.
Yeah.
He's not. He shoots like he has a backpack.
Bro
on.
is.
You can't be talking that much shit when you look like a 6th grader. Hey, yo, pass me the ball. He's chucking it up before you go home, dude. Like, come on.
I'm sorry, you're not going to know this, but I'm just going to say this, Nick. Bro is the Rafi Torres of the NBA.
Bro, I knew you were going to go there. He is.
He is the Rafi Torres of the NBA.
Ndamukong Suh.
Bro, that Ndamukong Suh, he really is. But
So
Ndamukong
if
Suh has a little bit more class. With
Huh?
the exception of playing Aaron Rodgers on Thanksgiving.
If you don't know, Rafi Torres was a player in the National Hockey League that was at highest suspended 41 games for multiple hits to the head and illegal checks.
Damn.
So
bro had
Hold on.
no regard.
Richie Incognito. That's a name.
Moving on.
I'll tell you later.
It's an indefinite suspension, but it's at minimum 3 weeks. And also in the suspension, Draymond Green has to go get counseling for his anger.
Bro's
issues.
going to therapy.
Okay, wait. Like counseling, like within the league or like
No,
he
like
has to
go
go
see
see a
a
professional.
therapist.
see a therapist.
Like borderline, because, dude, how many times are you going to get that angry in a season, multiple seasons in a row, and, like, actually assault people? Because there's been times he's stomped on people's, like, heads, he's, like, stomped on people's spleens, arms, he's kicked people in the nuts when they're going up for shots, he's, like, actually hit people, he beat the shit out of Jordan Poole at practice, and that's why Jordan Poole is now a Washington Wizard.
Wait, really? I didn't hear about that.
There was such bad beef between them.
Bro.
Poole went to Washington. Who willingly goes to Washington?
Okay.
That is so...
This is his 6th career suspension. His 2nd one this season. Guess how many other players have been suspended this season? Guess.
2.
No.
3.
Am
No.
I low?
9.
0?
0.
Oh my god.
Nobody else has been suspended, and he's been suspended twice. Bro, come on. That is actual buffoonery. I will say this has been the most disciplined I've seen the NBA. With the exception of Draymond Green, like usually there's just fights and chaos that's all happening up and down. Like,
Right.
Of course I didn't start him.
How bad did you get destroyed?
Puka Nacua dropped 33 points and he's on my bench.
Oh, I have to play
Oh
against.
my God.
I am so sorry for dropping that in there, but that was abysmal.
Yeah, anyway, to reel this back in. Okay, well, we were talking a couple weeks ago how boring the NBA is, right?
Yes.
This makes it entertaining, but like the bad way.
Yeah, this is not an entertaining you want.
Yeah, it's not fun to talk about. Because when you actually have the implications of like, oh damn, bro's going to therapy, like dead ass, like it's sad.
Like, I wonder what happens if he refuses. What is that?
You don't come back to the league. It's that simple. It if you can't control your anger and you're a liability to both your health and other players' health, you shouldn't be around the league. It's that plain and simple.
Yep.
That's why you don't hear about Vontaze Burfict anymore.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
You want to talk about a dirty ass player? Vontaze Burfict is a perfect example.
I remember his last suspension that like kicked him out of the league, bro. Just full on didn't even try to hide the fact that he was trying to take off the dude's head.
Oh my god.
He like jumped and leaped into his head.
Well, we'll show you later. Like,
Yeah.
dude was a menace, like grade A Hall of Fame menace. And so it's so sad when you have to see players like that's what they're known for. Nobody's gonna talk about Draymond's got 3 rings or 4 rings. I don't care how many he has. Oh, Draymond he was on the whole Warriors roster the whole time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Draymond got suspended for punching LeBron in the groin during the NBA Finals.
Like socking him.
Like full on like elbowing
Finals?
him, right? Yeah.
Finals.
In the finals.
Finals.
Yes.
Finals.
Like the
He was a
championship.
warrior?
He was a warrior playing against LeBron.
Oh, with the bubble.
No.
Wait, I'm missing something.
LeBron was on
This was in
Cleveland.
2016.
LeBron was on Cleveland.
During those crazy finals.
Right,
they go back and forth.
dude, 2016 was so good.
I lost it there. Okay.
So
But he also got suspended for breaking the limit the NBA limit on how many technical fouls you can have in a season.
There's a limit.
There is
apparently
nobody knew there was a limit until he broke that limit.
So it's like the fact that as a player you're going to be known
Bro
for...
got suspended 5 games for putting Rudy Gobert in a headlock. Like, come on.
Like the fact you're going to be known for anger issues and suspensions over a 3-time champion or 4-time champion, however many he has, and a great defensive player. What you're known for is you have the anger issues of a 6-year-old who just had his candy stolen from him is beyond me.
Yeah. So, here, how about this?
Bro's watching Draymond Green kick Steven Adams in the nuts.
Oh, Steven Adams
Where
is
is
so
he?
good.
Right there.
He's right
You'll
there.
see. Just full on kicks him in the nuts.
Back that up.
Bro ends when you want to see
They'll do a close
a
up.
close up.
Okay.
But bro just
Here, while I'm watching this, pull up how many games the Warriors are playing in 3 weeks.
Okay. I will
Oh my
do it
God.
right now.
It looked like he was trying to not, but like bro didn't have the
come
ball
on.
and he just went kicks him in the nuts. Like he does that stuff on the regular. He doesn't get suspended for it, but he gets fined.
He'll get
He gets
texts,
everything.
he'll get...
Bro's
Yeah.
got in a fight and his jersey's half like ripped off his body.
Okay, so...
Because people just want him.
So
There's full compilations on YouTube of like 30 minutes of all the
Him
things
being
he's
a
done.
dumbass.
Yeah.
So they've got 3 games...
Wait, hold on. Before
They have 4 games in the next week. So more or
Okay.
less multiply that by 3.
Okay.
Bro, in his addition to his 3 suspensions, Draymond Green has tallied 163 total technical fouls and has had to pay over $1.2 million in fines.
How much is he getting paid?
And that's of,
Obviously more than
that's
that,
of
but-
December. That's of like a few days ago.
Oh my God, and where are you getting this from?
This is from thesportingnews.com. Just like
163 fouls.
Draymond Green suspension timeline.
Oh boy.
Break it down. Good Lord.
Give me some hot chocolate and a bedtime story because this is going to put me to sleep. How
Yeah,
long this
I
is.
know. Bro's like counting sheep without the suspension. Yeah, it's
Wow. It's just embarrassing, man.
It is
Embarrassing for the sport. I mean,
Embarrassing for him, embarrassing for the
for a non high contact sport, and like not.
I'm all for
that high
physicality, but like
Not like this.
not in
When
this
we want
setting.
more physicality in the NBA, we want higher defense. That's what we want.
Yes, go watch European basketball. I keep bringing it up. European basketball has
Yep.
some of the best defense I've seen on the planet.
Yep.
Not assault or battery. You know.
yeah.
I love when players, actually good defense. They watch the hips. They're moving laterally. It's not I'm Floyd Mayweather. Wham to the left side of my head. I'm like, dude, what's going on?
Bro is literally Conor McGregor.
For real. So
Just like-
it's baffling. But if we want to continue how entertaining, with air quotes, the NBA has been, I say we move on to...
There's no deferrals in the Yamamoto deal.
None?
None?
Wow.
No, this is no deferrals.
Wow, they are footing that bill.
He's also getting a signing bonus of $50 million.
Woo! Okay.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to happen a lot as more news comes out.
All right.
Okay. Sorry.
Bro is
Whoops,
having
sorry. That was
This is why I wish there was video, because you just see like we're just talking, we're like, all right, I think we're done, and then just like we're all just like, okay, so how's this gonna go?
yeah, bro, it's just a
The
little...
cameras would be so funny just to see us just
Yeah, but I guarantee you the second we're not allowed to cut stuff like that is when things get crazy.
Yeah. All right, so that is the first half of the Four Score Sports podcast holiday special. We got another episode being recorded here in about an hour and a half or so.
Ho ho ho.
Thank you. So yeah, that is our first half, and again, I'm Christian.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Spencer.
This is the Four Score Sports podcast holiday special, the first half, and thank you for listening, and see you in the next one. Have a good day.